Welcome back to another episode review of Darling in the Franxx. Today we'll be looking at episode 17, Eden. So right away I gotta say the episode was very disappointing for me, especially since last week ended with such like an interesting plot element. And we get a bit of it more in this episode, but very little, and I was really hoping that it would be explored a lot more. There are some cool aspects in today's episode, which I'll get into when I go through the synopsis, but overall it was just an alright episode, nothing that spectacular. So the episode begins with the Nines coming to visit the children, and they inform the children that Papa has not forgotten about them, and this makes the children happy that they know that Papa still cares, even though last episode they were starting to show like a rejection of Papa's virtues. But I thought it was well done because like they're still kids and they still like look up to Papa, and they haven't like completely split themselves off, so it makes sense that they're still very dependent on him. Also, during the beginning of the episode, we learned that Hero is growing horns and they're becoming a lot more prominent. They're pretty huge now, and 02 is like, you're probably growing them because you licked my blood, and that's probably why. It's not the best idea to lick someone's blood. He's probably going to become a Klaxosaur, he's going to die, something awful is going to happen because of it, or maybe they live happily ever after. We'll see what happens. So getting back to the Nines, they decide to live with the kids, and things don't go very well because one of the Nines finds Kokoro's birthing book that she found in like episode 11 or something when they were having their beach day, and she tells 9 Alpha, who confronts Kokoro in front of everyone, about the birthing book, and he tells her she's disgusting and that humans don't need to reproduce and that her wanting a baby is wrong, and it's all this crazy drama's going on. And then for some reason Aikuno finally does something awesome in the series. It's only taken her 17 episodes, but she runs up to 9 Alpha and she slaps him in the face, and it was amazing, especially because of the whistle right after it. And we don't know who did the whistle. I'm going to say it was Goro, just because he's awesome. Or Zerome. Probably Zerome. Definitely Zerome. So after that exchange, Kokoro gets in trouble, so she has to go see Nana and Hachi. And while they're talking, Kokoro tells Nana that having emotions isn't wrong. And then Nana has like a freak out. And 9 Alpha makes this comment that Nana's going through like a puberty relapse. And my understanding of it is that Nana and Hachi and like the older generation, they were not allowed to go through puberty, so they were not able to express their emotions or their sexuality. And now watching the younger children, all those emotions are returning, and that's why she's like having like this breakdown, because she knows that she has these emotions but she was never able to express them. And then 9 Alpha makes a little comment to Hachi that Nana's broken and now we're going to need a new one, and he's going to go tattletale to Papa. So 9 Alpha's not a nice guy. I don't really like him. I'm curious to see what his motives are, if he's just Papa's puppet or if he has his own agenda. We'll find out, I hope. And the episode pretty much ends on a high note with Kokoro and Mitsuru together in bed, and it's heavily implied that they've just had sexual intercourse. So now we're going to learn if the children are infertile or not, and we'll see if Kokoro is able to have a baby. And my guess is no, they're not going to be able to have kids. I think this because last episode we saw how their bodies are decaying, and like they've been prodded with needles when they were young, and just the way that 9 Alpha talks to them in this episode, and like how he discusses humanity as like not very important, and like having the species continues not a big priority for Papa. So I just feel like they're not going to be able to have kids. And I guess we'll find out hopefully next episode and see if Kokoro is pregnant or not. But I have to say that this was probably the most interesting part of the episode. I know a lot of shippers for Kokoro and Mitsuru are probably really happy. I feel real bad for Futoshi, and we'll see how he reacts to this exchange. Probably not very well. We saw that he was really upset about them kissing, so this will probably make him even more heartbroken. So the final thing about this episode that I personally enjoyed the most, and I was hoping the episode would be a lot more about, is that we see the Klaxosaur princess, and it is confirmed that she is the Klaxosaur princess. She's met by 2 minions of Papa, and they go down and they tell her like, oh, it's time to surrender, and she's having none of that. She kills both of Papa's minions and the soldiers that they come with, and we see her two Klaxosaur monsters that like accompany her. One looks like a snake, and the other one has like a dragon head. Very cool. I really love them. Her design's awesome. And there's one point in the episode where she gets off her throne, and you see her foot coming down. And it reminded me of Kill la Kill so badly. It reminded me of Satsuki and Ragyo and Ryuko when they do their heel clicks. Very cool, very Trigger. As a huge Trigger fan, I loved it. I'm probably making more out of it than it actually is, but for me, that was like the highlight of the episode, which is pretty sad now that I think about it. But it was just so cool. So besides me freaking out about her foot, the other awesome thing that we learned was that the men that accompany Papa, the ones in all the masks, they're not really humans apparently, because when she kills one of them, we see what's under the mask and there's nothing there. So I have no idea what that means. I'm excited to see, are they robots or automatons? We'll see what happens. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about for this episode. It was pretty good. I was really disappointed with the lack of Klaxosaur Princess, but I feel like Kokoro and Mitsuru's story and seeing them develop kept me engaged at least. So I hope next episode has more action and like more plot development, because there's still so much we don't know, and I really just want to see the story get rolling, because we don't have many episodes left. I don't know if there's going to be a second season, another 25 episodes. That would be pretty awesome to see. I doubt it. But anyways, I'm rambling now. I hope you liked the video. I know we got a big influx of new subscribers. That's awesome. Share this video if you enjoyed it. Like the video. That's always appreciative. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you next week, where we take on episode 19 of Darling in the Franxx.